Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today we're going to be talking about Clair, Obscur, Expedition 33. I don't normally do game reviews, really ever. This actually might be my first dedicated video to a game, but I absolutely have to do it for this. No spoilers in this video, so don't worry. Honestly, I just have to gush about this game and continue gushing about it as much as I personally can, because this is probably one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time. As somebody who has lived through most of the best gaming years and best games that have ever come out and played them, this is one of the top and easily. I am putting this right up there with Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Final Fantasy VII, Lost Odyssey, Super Mario World, all of my favorite gaming experiences, Pokemon games, it doesn't matter what it is. I have lived through them, I have played them. Expedition 33 deserves a spot on that list. And so I am trying something new today. Bear with me, as I don't really watch game review videos. I don't know how people do them. And so I'm just going to do this video Joey style and see if it works. And if it does, then great. If it doesn't, then hey, at least I tried. First, we have to talk about the music. Music is the lifeblood of most video games and really shows, movies, you name it. If you can nail the music, it helps even a mediocre game become great. Thankfully, Expedition 33 is not a mediocre game in any way, shape, or form, but the music in this game is absolutely top-notch. One of, if not the best, soundtrack out of any game or series that I've played. Previously, I would hold Persona games to a high standard, as well as Bastion, and there's a bunch of other games as well. But there is something about Expedition 33, their soundtrack, how handcrafted it is, that puts it a step above. Not only does each area have its own theme, not only does each boss have their own theme, not only does each battle have their own theme, but they all blend together and they don't feel separate at all. It feels like it was handcrafted for the spot that you're in, as well as the game. Some of, if not my favorite songs from this game are from boss battles that match the boss in a way that you just don't see many games do. There are so many times where I was in a battle or somewhere else and the song would start playing and I would just stop what I was doing and listen. Stop the battle, stop walking, stop whatever it was, and sit there and just vibe. Since I started playing this game and since beating it, I have had the soundtrack on repeat since I can't stop listening to it. Like pretty much the entire game, it is without a doubt very French and French culture, French inspired, all of that, as the developers are French. And so you feel that throughout the music, you feel that throughout the game's atmosphere, the characters, everything. But it all adds to the authenticity that is Expedition 33. And so that brings me to the story, because the second most important part in a video game to me is the story. And they nailed every single part, including the ending and the landing. Again, no spoilers here, but within the first few minutes of the game, it grips you with mystery. What is this gommage that they're talking about? What in the world is happening? Why is the atmosphere both uplifting and there's a sense of dread at the same time? And you start to get more and more answers as you go. A lot of events happen throughout the story that I would caution people not to search for. Avoid all spoilers for this game, because by the end, you are feeling a sense of melancholy, but in a good way, because you have been attached to these characters, to this story, and everything that feels so real. This is a scenario where it's a beautiful story made into a video game instead of a video game made into a beautiful story. There is so much heartbreak in this game that is also countered by so much happiness, and it blends together nicely in a story that excels past the video game medium that it is in. The other part to the story is the writing. This is a rare game where the writers are aware of how people normally talk, and so the scenes are laid out in a way that you feel that. You feel like these are real conversations that real people are having. And it's not a TV show, it's not a game, this is actually how people talk. But that writing continues across not just the characters, but things in the world that you find. And it keeps going. This isn't a game that makes you think in black and white, because the characters are not in black and white, and you feel that through everything. There are some absolutely lovable characters that, again, no spoilers here, as well as some tragic moments throughout the game and continually, and it just pulls at your heartstrings when you least expect it. I had absolutely no idea who was voicing these characters until randomly I saw that Charlie Cox of Daredevil fame was voicing Gustav, and Andy Serkis of literally everything fame was voicing another character. And then there's Ben Starr and other members as well. And so because part of all of the writing is the voice acting, and it's absolutely phenomenal, it turns out that when you give fantastic actors a great script, they can really show their range, and they absolutely do so here. All of this continues with the art style and the world design, and I'm going to pick on Assassin's Creed Shadows for a quick second, since I was recently playing it. But in that game, assets are copy and pasted throughout the world. You see one castle, you have seen them all. The interiors, all of it, are pretty much copy and pasted. In Expedition 33, each dungeon, each area, each new section, it doesn't matter what it is all handcrafted. The characters, the enemies, the bosses, I went through so many different spots of the world, just marveling at the work that they did and how different they all are, how the designs of the enemies are different, how they have different attacks, how the parrying system is all different. All of this, along with the powers, the actual worlds, the scenic atmosphere, all of it. None of it felt copied, none of it felt pasted, none of it felt like it was not handcrafted. And I have no idea how an indie studio accomplished this, but it is absolutely something that I noticed right away. You know how you have some games where you can split routes and you end up getting to the end of the second route and there is no item, there is no nothing, you kind of just wasted your time to go to somewhere where the devs didn't really put in the care to make it look like there was something to reward your time for heading there. Well, in Expedition 33, every single route that you do has something at the end of it to make your effort worthwhile. Whether it's a smaller item or a really good item or it's something secret, it doesn't matter. If you take a route, you're gonna have something at the end of it. They even took it a step above and they made it so that each playable character is somebody you can swap to and use in the real world, and your decisions on customizing that character's hair and outfits and so on are in the actual cutscenes. There is a level of polish and thoughtfulness in this game that just does not even exist in AAA games that I've seen. Which, by the way, have I even mentioned that this is not a AAA game? This is $49 US, which to me is absolutely insane for the amount that is in this game. For a $50 price tag to do what this game has done, there are games that I've paid double that and haven't even gotten half of what I've gotten out of Expedition 33. Now, on the gameplay side, I think it is reductive to call this a turn-based RPG, because it is so much more. It becomes very clear, and really quickly, that no, this is not just turn-based. Although it does have those bones, but you can parry, you can dodge, you can jump, and you can do so much more with you having to actually pay attention during battles, and you're not just sitting there spamming X to try and get to the next fight. Outside of combat, you do have skills that you can level up as you level up, and then you get new weapons. There are things called pictos, there's also luminas, and it makes it so that you can customize your character in a number of different ways with a build that is unique to you. Are you somebody that wants to parry a lot, which you're going to have to in this game? Well, how about you get 25% more attack when you parry? Or maybe you want an extra ability point when you start the battle, and so on and so on, and you can mix and match all of these awesome luminas and pictos to make your characters your own. I went through the game just mixing and matching different things and learning what worked best for me, and it felt natural to do so. None of this felt pigeonholed in. Each weapon felt unique, each lumina felt unique, and all of it felt unique in a way that games really have trouble with. When I get a weapon in Assassin's Creed Shadows, again, to use that game, it's just like, oh, here is another weapon, and it has slightly better stats, and sure, I'll use this. Here, the weapons have unique abilities. There is a different reason to use each of them depending on your playstyle, and so it all feels tailored to yourself. Look, I can keep going and going and going about this game, and I would love to talk openly about this game, including spoilers at some point in the future, but I have not been able to stop thinking about it since I started it, and since I beat it, and everything since. I had it on Game Pass, that is how I started playing, and a few hours into the game, I went right to Steam, paid full price for the Steam version, and still went back to play on the Game Pass version just to support the developers. That is how good this game is. I've even been trying to find the collector's edition for the statue, despite the fact that I am not playing on any console, because I just want to continue supporting these devs, as well as just get more merchandise from this game because it is so good. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is easily, without exaggeration, one of my favorite gaming experiences in my lifetime, and it should be celebrated. The developers should be praised. This game should be studied as a blueprint for how you should be making games. You feel the love throughout the entire game. Nothing felt like they were wasting my time. Nothing felt like they were trying to take advantage of me. Nothing felt off. This felt like a labor of love in so many ways. And by the time that the end credits roll, you sit back and you look at your entire time with Clair Obscur and you can't help but smile. So that's where I'm at. Buy Expedition 33, support the developers. I get nothing at all from any of this entire video, none of it. I just want to spread the word of a game that frankly is what the world needs right now, and frankly is a fantastic experience. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about games. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff, and hope you all have a good one.